Here I am sitting with Congressman Ron DeSantis of Florida. Hello, Congressman DeSantis.
How are you?
Thank you so much for being here in Jerusalem. I understand you are here doing a research fact-finding mission to prepare for, hopefully one day, the moving finally of the U.S. Embassy to Jerusalem.
That's right. And if you looked, obviously President Trump, when he campaigned, said he was going to move it. He got into office and people said, oh, he didn't move it on day one. Maybe it's not going to be moved. And I don't think that's necessarily the right way to do. And I supported moving on day one, don't get me wrong. But we have a law in place that requires the embassy to be in Jerusalem unless the president does these 6-month waivers. Well, Barack Obama did one in December, so that puts us through the end of May. And so President Trump at that point will be faced with, do I sign the waiver and not move the embassy, or do I follow through and move the embassy? The first day, he didn't have a Secretary of State in place. He didn't have David Friedman as the ambassador. Now he will have been in office for a few months and is probably in a better position to execute this. So I don't have any advanced knowledge of the decision he's going to make, but as chairman of the subcommittee that oversees some of these embassy issues, I just assume that he is not going to sign the waiver and that we will take steps to move the embassy. So I wanted to be in a position where we had some corporate knowledge on the committee side so that we knew the sites we were talking about, and that if they did choose one of these typical sites that people are talking about, that we would have a good handle on that and could assist in any way we can, and obviously conduct oversight over the issues, because we want to make sure all our embassies are secure and that our personnel are protected.
I can tell you, as a Jew, as an Israeli, it's exciting to know that movement is being made, preparation is being done. And I asked you this question at the press conference. I'd love for you to expand also here. Why is this the right thing for America to do? Why is it right also on a geopolitical level for America to finally move the embassy to Jerusalem?
Well, it recognizes the connection between Jerusalem and the Jewish people, which goes back thousands of years, and which some still deny, which is just unacceptable. And I think you saw that with that UN resolution in December. So this is really a rebutting of that resolution in some ways very strongly. And I think it'll have ramifications beyond just this issue, because I think what our allies will see as a president acting decisively in support of an ally, and I think that they'll be comforted to know that when America says it has your back, it does have your back.
I know, you have much more knowledge than I do, but from what I understand, most of the reasons the American government has not done this, or continues to hear threats from some of the Arab Muslim world. If America would do this, then expect violence. Are we going to be seeing a difference in tactic from the Trump administration in terms of dealing with these threats?
Well, look, I think anything time you take decisive action, people will say they'll be violent. They can say that about anything, and so I don't know what would happen. I don't think violence in response to this would be in any way justified. And so, if we're worried that people are going to be committing unjustified acts of terrorism, that you can't be cowed into not doing the right thing. And so, I think swift, decisive action will be good. But also understand, when America is indecisive, when we're not taking bold action, that really emboldens the people that want to do us harm to do even worse things. So in some ways, the American strength is probably the best antidote to some of this bad activity that we don't want to see.
Well, and it's music to my ears. I'm sure to a lot of people's ears to hear that perspective. So my last question to you, Congressman, is what can we do to help you?
Well, I think that speaking out about what this would mean for the American-Israeli relationship, what it would mean to the people of Israel as they celebrate 50 years of liberating Jerusalem, in telling the stories. I mean, for example, I've been to the Old City and viewed the Jewish sites, the Christian sites, even the Muslim sites. And the thing is, under Israeli control, Israeli sovereignty, you have freedom of religion for everybody. Right. Before 67, a lot of people don't realize you couldn't go into that old city if you were a Christian or if you were a Jew. There was religious discrimination. So that, I think, it contributes to the worldwide significance of Jerusalem as this holy city. And I think that the 50-year experience shows that with Jerusalem as Israel's capital, Israel exercising sovereignty over this city, people from all over the world, no matter their faith, can come and worship here. freely, and that is a big deal, and that hasn't always been the case in this city or in this part of the world.
Right. Well, Congressman, thank you so much for all of the work you're doing, and we are looking to seeing the fruition of all this preparation that you're putting together.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you. Shalom, everyone from Jerusalem.